Hello, epic viewers from around the multiverse. Prepare to bask in unprecedented glory, because today another ineffably epic video is about to transpire. What will ensue? I do not know. The future is enigmatic, the future is obscured beyond a veil of time, and of course the future is precarious and unforeseeable. So today, as an impromptu video, I'm going to be making some predictions of the world in 2019, what will transpire. I'm making the arbitrary assumption that there's going to be less arable land, the natural resources are going to be harvested, and economic growth typically translates into converting organic materials, organic compounds, into inorganic compounds. But it is what it is. It is unfortunate. Nonetheless, Earth, even without increasing vertical farming facilities and without increasing arable land supplies, can feed a bare minimum of 700 billion people, because 80% of all food gets pitched, purged, and relegated to the dumpster. So you could feed at least 35 billion right there. Then everyone could become a vegan. It takes 10 pounds of plant-based protein to produce 1 pound of animal-based protein. So then you're feeding 350 billion people just with simple dietary changes, from eating carcasses and animal secretions that have synthetic bastardized man-made products, to eating only fruits and vegetables and grains, if you will. And then of course everyone could eat every other day, only eat 3 meals a week, and I sustain myself doing so. So it's not necessary to eat 8 times a day or even every day, as long as your vitals are healthy, and as long as you gain the minimum calories needed to sustain having a healthy BMI, then you should be fine. But make sure you regulate your vitals. So I predict that arable land supplies will contract, because based on the track record of natural resources being harvested and converted into inorganic materials, it seems as though this prediction is very likely to transpire. But who knows? We'll see what transpires in the coming years. What else? I'm making the arbitrary assumption that extortion fees will rise in the pending future. There's over 13,000 tax codes, and it's quite unfortunate, because your hard-earned money gets re-emitted to other people against your own volition, and at your own expense. You're financing their amenities, their luxuries, and their affluence, and it comes at the cost of your wealth, health, happiness, and energy. So it's quite debilitating and depressing to think about, but it is what it is. It just deters you from wanting to work when your money is going to be preordained to be re-emitted into the bank accounts of eminently wealthy people who have profuse abundance. But it is what it is. And taxes will likely never be abolished. So I see why people are deterred from working. If you can't retain the fruits of your labor, then your endeavors are fruitless. So it also seems as though more overpriced action figures will be churned out. They won't be on par with the $8 Tokyo's Marvel Legends action figures, in spite of the fact that they cost anywhere from $20 to $80 to procure at retail stores. But in spite of this, they'll still deliver less value and charge at least 250% more per figure. It's just disgraceful, despicable that they have the gall to implement such practices. But the target market has no standards, and they'll buy anything at any price. It's kind of like a pet rock, You just call any hunk of plastic an action figure, slap on an $80 price tag, do a slip shot job, they'll buy it. It is what it is. I don't think that the world will be very different. I do predict that the cost of living will be amplified, and the standard of living will plunge as the wealth disparity further amplifies. More jobs will likely be automated. More automated processes. An individual will likely become more destitute and indigent as taxes amplify, as prices amplify, and as the standard of living plunges into the abyss, to an all-time low. So it seems as though inflation is beginning to transpire. The dollar has lost at least 97% of its purchasing power since 1913. So that fiat currency is practically worthless, and you need so much to buy so little. It's quite a shame and quite a pity, but it is what it is. What else do I predict? Well, there will be some good things in 2019. We will get more ineffably epic, divine anime episodes that are spectacles to feast your eyes on. We'll get more bedazzling YouTube videos. Content creators will continue to churn out more content. We will get more engrossing, enthralling video games. We will get action figures of new characters that have never been materialized in action figure form. What else will we get? We'll get more movies that are desirable, to say the least, that people have yearned to watch for years on end. We'll probably get a host of more superhero movies, which is always beneficial. And I think that people implement more celebrities' changes in their lifestyles. I think that the movement towards eating more fruits and vegetables will proliferate. I think that people will be more pursuant of entrepreneurship and remote jobs, just because online offers so many opportunities and so many tools to create your own business. In minutes, with minimal effort on the individual's end, you can create a podcast, publish your books via Amazon Kindle, create a Teespring store, create a blogger, create YouTube videos, live stream on Twitch. The opportunities are practically endless. So we'll get more entrepreneurship in the coming year, get more action figures of characters you've always desired, which are highly covetable. We'll get more amazing movies and video games and anime episodes. There'll likely be less arable land. Subsequently, there'll likely be decreased food supply as a result of less arable land. Taxes will likely amplify, unfortunately. Cost of living will also correspondingly, unfortunately, amplify. It seems like it's very likely to transpire. And based on the track record of recent years, you can extrapolate future trends and see how your life could turn out. So I guess the key is just to put forth your utmost best effort and to spread unprecedented value to the multiverse, and ensure that every decision is predicated upon the adherence to the utmost highest level of morality. Demonstrate unrequited kindness to everyone. Always uphold your moral rectitude, if you have any, which you always should. Every decision should be based on morality and nothing else. But you can only do the best you can do, and if you can't afford something, then it is what it is. You just make do with what you have and what you can afford, and it is what it is. If you wind up being 80 and you can't afford housing, You know, it is what it is. If you force an earnest, diligent effort, you know, you can understand that in this simulation you have no qualms about your efforts. Just make sure that you're exuding a diligent, valiant, noble effort, and as long as you do that, don't stress about your life. Stressing doesn't resolve anything fruitful. It just ravages the DNA, unravels the telomeres, truncates the I meant to say unravels the chromosomes and truncates the telomeres. Doesn't do any good. So those are likely some changes. Once again, to recapitulate: an increase in the cost of living, a decrease in the standard of living. Tax rates will likely amplify, so the individual will likely become more destitute, more indigent, and its money is being re-emitted to the utmost unproductive people who are eminently wealthy. What else? We'll likely have less arable land supplies. We'll likely have more action figures, more movies, more video games, a wider selection of entertainment. So, at least those are some of the good points. The latter ones, you know, you can never have enough movies, video games, action figures, and electronics. You know, technology is great. So I hope they found this video to be enthralling and insightful and engrossing. I look forward to the future, and I'll try to deliver unprecedented value to the multiverse by delivering NFLB epic videos, live stream content, and monologues to the viewers that show the best action figures that have been released and that are going to be released. I hope they found this video to be intriguing. Have a wonderful, blissful day. Goodbye.